First of all, stop betting on prediction markets without this, because prediction markets are good and they're hot right now, but they are slow and messy if you're just placing bets one at a time. We have a better way to actually do that. Meet PolyBaskets. What it does, it actually lets you create your own basket of different markets, like a portfolio of prediction markets with custom weights. So how that actually works? For example, Bitcoin hitting 100k, Ethereum hitting 5k or 10k, and also AI regulations, Musk versus OpenAI, and all these things combining together inside a one basket, because maybe these are your favorite markets and you don't want to actually do single, you just want to have a basket around it or maybe a market around it. So what you can do right now, how this magic happens: when you create a market, you get the entry index depending on Polymarket prices for different markets, right? And when resolve all these markets for different time frame, you get a settlement index. If your settlement index is more than the creation index, you win profits, and if not, you maybe lose some. Your risk is diversified, not just inside a one market. You are not just using it for manual tracking, no manual delays, just one market, bundle them together and settling at once. That's PolyBasket for you. Platform actually works, and the architecture actually fits in, and how it actually works end to end. Then we deploy these contracts and how we interact with it. So we're gonna see everything in here. So when you enter to this platform, you will see the interface like this. Means you will see the front end, and you will see the different markets. Means for the politics, crypto, tech, gaming, sports, finance, entertainment, health, weather, economics, and all these things. So once you go and you will select different markets, it's like simple, like you do for on Polymarket and all these things. You get the live data from there. So I select different markets like negative GDP growth in 2026. I go for like, will this reach this much amount by December 31st? I will suggest maybe yes, who knows. Then we're gonna see one more non-controversial, please. Okay, so we're gonna just say no. So 3 in basket. So what it means, we have the total weight, means we have total weight 100%. We cannot go more than this. So we have now 3 markets together, and we're gonna select like for this much for like 52%, for like only 24%. Then we're gonna give this a name, for example, for this video, right? And now we're gonna see the bet amount, means how much we want to allocate to this whole basket, not just for the one market. Like for example, 5,000, right? And this time we see in these 3 different markets, the amount gets split differently. Means it's not just equal amounts. It depends on the weight that we actually specified here. If you see for like 52%, 24%, and 24%, right? For this, and you get the basket index at creation. It's 0.372. And that's what we're going to talk about in this architecture. So it's very important to actually remember what we are talking about. So what you see here right now is the platform where we actually deploy the contracts, and where everything that we see in the front end going to store. You see all these messages and everything. You see the first, which is basketmarket.claim. We call this function, but now we are going to create a new basket. So it's going to update, and we're going to see how it actually looks after this. So we want to allocate 5,000 Vara for this. It's currently live on testnet. So we're going to just save it. So to actually work with this, you need actually sub wallet like this, right? Or the similar wallets. We're going to approve this and all. It's going to submit. And what we're going to see is how the platform looks like. So you have these basket items, means you have different markets together inside one basket. So in this, for index calculation, you see the index at creation, then you see the current index. And also you're going to see the position, yes or no. Then you're going to see status, which is open, closed, or resolved or not. You're going to see the weights, how much weight you given to different market in the your basket. Then we have like prices. You're going to have probability of winning or not. You have original prices, then there's any change or not. So these markets are not resolved yet, so we cannot predict if they're going to settle or not. So we're going to wait till all these markets get resolved. So even though you're losing in one market, maybe you're winning in other 2. So your probability of winning maybe increases. So what we're going to see is like this. And for example, this is the one we created now, and you can see this here. There's no market resolve till now. But for example, if we go towards for different market, right? In this market, I selected these similar 3, and I can select even more depending on my choices. you can see the market creation was 0.689, means 691 UPS, and then current index was like 1. So user actually won, means it created the bet for 4,600 Vara, and the calculated payout come out to be around 6,675. So this is and now what we're gonna see, if we go towards our platform where we deploy the contracts, means it's like where you can see all your contracts and interactions and everything. So in this claim that we recently saw before creating the market, and this is these two things we see after creating the market. So when I just click on create market, so I see the name is video, there's description, I haven't put any description at all. There is items, and it's very important to see here, which is you have Polymarket ID, you have Poly slug, and you have weight, BPS, and all these things. So this is what just 3 markets. And once it creates the market, the second thing it goes is to bet on the market, which is basket ID, which actually lets you distinguish between all these baskets, right? Then you have index at creation, means when you created that basket, what was your index at that point of time? Because it will be important when your market gets settled. If your so for this, the index creation was 0.689, and the current index means the settlement index was more. So that's why this user won some amount. So when we're gonna just click on claim payout, you're gonna see a function which is going to call on itself, which is dot claim. This time it's for market 20, basket ID 25, but this basket is a different one. So when we're gonna click this, it's going to claim for a different basket, right? And automatically the funds from a program balance going to deduct, and it's going towards the user wallet automatically. So we're going to click on claim payout. Then we're going to just call that, yes, I want this much amount because my index at settlement was more than my index at creation. So this shows that user, you want this much amount, and it will take hardly like 30 seconds to actually get the amount credited to the user's account. So we're going to just go and we're going to just refresh once. If you remember, we created the basket, right? The dot create basket, then bet on basket. Then we call a claim function. You see, this is the different basket, which is the 27th. The previous one was 25th. So now you see here as well, where entry was at around 68.9%, and the settlement goes to like 100% because we market resolve for 100%. Then this much amount is a 1, and sometimes you lose, sometimes you won, depending on your index at creation and also the market sentiments and all. So it works, means you have these functions. If you go back, it's currently live on Vara for Vara.eth. It's coming soon. We have the sales function, means you have create basket, which goes first, then it goes for bet on basket, then it goes so once all these market resolve, what I mean by all these market resolve, let's see. Okay, so we're gonna just go back to our basket number 27th, which is this, right? I saw you this like resolve yes, no, resolve yes, resolve yes, resolve yes. So once all these markets get resolved, this our settler on chain proposes with the like authorization actor ID. It proposes a settlement, and once it proposes the settlement, it has you have around 12 minutes to actually dispute if there is any. For example, this. You wait for 12 minutes, which your dispute period means if you have anything you want to dispute against or anything else. If there is nothing, it goes to finalize settlement, which is here. Means you go to finalize settlement, like this, right? So once the proposed settlement period goes over, like for the basket ID and everything else, it just settle automatically. So if you see how the whole flow looks like, it's pretty simple, right? And you can just choose the different markets. You can just create a basket around it. You get the index at creation, and then you allocate some bet amount. It automatically allocates to different market depending on the weight you selected and all these things. So how all these things actually work together. So we're going to give a small brief intro how it actually works. So we actually saw this user flow, how the user journey looks like. It's wait for settlement. After some time, it can claim the payout. But we see all these things front end and data source, but what actually happens at the core, which is Vara smart contracts. So you see the contract state means you have baskets. It's pretty simple, means every basket contains multiple prediction markets. A basket item has the market condition ID from Polymarket directly. So a weight like 30%, 20% as we saw, whether you are betting yes or no. So you see there is second is positions map, but you also have a settler role, means it has authorizations to actually settle your markets. Then you have liveness seconds, means once your market gets resolved, the settler rule going to propose settlement, but you have 12 minutes to raise a dispute against the settlement before it gets finalized. After that, you will see positions map. What it basically means. So when you bet on a basket, a position is created, as you saw. Then storing your entry point, the entry at created like BPS that we talked about. I can just show you again. So this was a market, right? This was a market. So when you go, this is your index at creation. So, and this is your settlement index. So we talked about the position. So when you create a position is created and storing your entry point, which is your index at creation. Then you have settlements, means after all the market resolve, the settler bot proposes a settlement, means there is around 12 minutes challenge window before it's finalized for the users. You can actually see that here. Wait 12 minutes and then then it's finalized and you can just claim the payout like you see here. But there is actually a lot more happening here. You see contract methods, which is you create the basket, then you call the function, which is just back. You see, okay, we selected, just go to at all. So you see, we created the basket, right? And then it goes to bet on basket. So create the basket, bet on baskets. Then what actually going to happen then, once all the market get resolved, it will propose a settlement by your settlement that has your authorization, which is this. After that, the 12-minute window is there for you to actually dispute against any of these things that you see. If there is nothing, everything is going well, you can just go and just finalize the settlement. So if you see for the settlement, you have item resolutions, mean final outcome for each market, the settlement index that we talked about, how much payout per share is there, how much amount you created at, and plus how much amount user won or how much amount user lost for different markets. Then you have challenge deadline. There is status, settlement status, proposed or finalized. You have 12-minute window passed, like logged in permanently and all these things. So just wanted to show you about the position struct, means when you create the right with your 0.3 like this, we see index at creation. Then we have user actor ID. So everything in Vara is an actor. So you have your users actor, you have different markets and all. You have the shares, means the amount that your shares that you initially used to create the market. Then you have your claim pool, means if you have claimed, so you have already claimed your payout, means so basically true or false. Correlated means you have your position struct, then you have your basket struct, means there is items, there is ID for different basket that we recently saw, means when we actually see this, we see there is ID and there is a basket name and all these things. So we see who's the creator, who's the status looks like, is it active, means there's no market resolved yet, is there settled or is this closed, like that. And there's payout calculations later on as well. So it's quite simple. If you see, you can actually have multiple things going on after this, means you can add the order books here. When you click on different markets, you can actually see, you can have the bunch of things added. But if you want to try it out, just comment baskets and we'll just share you the link initially for try it out. And that's it. See you in the next video.